What is up, everybody? I had to be done with another video for you today. We're having a look at an upcoming game. It's going to be released on July 27th and it's Neo, The World Ends With You. As you can see there at the bottom, the characters have been designed by Tetsuya Nomura, which is quite exciting if you're a Final Fantasy fan, as he's done most of the characters in that series. So yeah, I'm up to try this out. So demo's already available. If you got a PlayStation, make sure you go and download it. I guarantee it's worth it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Starting off, just the storytelling is quite unique. Feels like a comic book, and the characters are all very quirky and interesting. There is a bit of a twist already on the demo. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but initially I thought it would be quite childish, but it feels like there's something there. The way you navigate the map is quite linear. You can't control the camera, which was a bit of a shock at the beginning, but once you get used to it, it's just on rails, but you still have control when it comes to combat. And talking about combat, I was quite impressed with how it goes in this game. I've been playing a lot of ARPGs recently, and this was quite refreshing, if not a shock at the beginning. You have your three characters here, and each one of them has their own ability and the one ability only. What defines if you're successful or not on the other side is your agility to kind of link these attacks together, as when you finish a combo with a character, you have a drop beat moment there where you can link to the next one, and that will give you some more groove. Yes, I know, dropping beats and groove. I'm not cool enough for that, but that's what the game calls it, so I just gotta go with it. Aside from leveling up your characters, you level up the pins. You can see them at the bottom next to the buttons there, the triangle, square, and R1. These pins are leveled up individually, and some of them can be evolved, so you have further, more powerful versions of your attacks. And this is just the demo, so you don't get to see everything, but the ones you see are quite different. You have some melee hits, you have some ranged ones, you have some charged ones that take a little bit longer but hit really hard, and you can find some pretty good combinations. On the screen right now you can see this kind of rain of light. That is the groove move, if you want to call it like that, and that, as well as giving you an attack multiplier, adds this other layer of mass. It does remind me of Kingdom Hearts, the way it's quite overwhelming visually, but as with a lot of these modern games, once you learn what you have to ignore and what actually matters, you have everything under control, and it does make for some fun replays for you to watch back. Once the fight is over, you have a little of a recap. It shows your rating, shows you how long it took, the experience you've gained, and any new pins that you might add to your inventory. Another little feature in Neo that I quite enjoyed is the way that there's a lot of optional dialogue and some slightly different mini puzzles for you to do. Here, for example, I'm using one of the characters' abilities to help someone remember something. It's quite simple in how it works, but it does spice things up a little bit, keeps you on your toes. It's refreshing to have to almost stop and play a slightly different game, even if it's just for 10 seconds before you get back into it. Now, having a look at the character design and the dialogues in the cutscenes, it's quite nice how it plays out as a comic book. It's very colorful. You do have to look past the main character wearing his face mask wrong, but if you do ignore that, they're quite likable, and yeah, I can imagine we will get quite connected with their story. I'm looking forward to see some more, that's for sure. Here you can see the evolution of one of the pins. Even after evolving them, you still have to level them up, and you do feel the difference in power. Combat goes by you scanning the map and getting these little red clouds absorbed by your body, and you can get up to 5. That makes the fights more difficult. And also you have the option of adding a more difficult level to the game, so you have better loot. It reminds me of Diablo and a lot of these games in the sense. It is definitely very loot based, but for me there's nothing wrong with that. It actually draws me into the game quite easily. And talking about loot, let's have a look at some of the pins. So here on the main menu, you get there by pressing L1 on the PlayStation. You can see that each pin has its input, like this one that I'm looking at right now is triangle, so you cannot have repeated inputs for them. So I guess that's also a way for them to almost add like different categories to the pins, so you cannot have some super overpowered combinations. When we got more towards the end of the demo, you have a little bit of a boss fight. I do like how the bosses have different abilities, like this you're fighting this big gorilla and it has the ability to just grab you, and that takes one of your characters just out of order temporarily. You can see my triangle pin there is not working, so I need to make sure that I damage the boss enough to get him back. And you have my team HP versus the boss HP there. I can see how that's going to play out with other bosses with different challenges. This one climbs one of the towers and then throws itself back to you, so I'm quite curious to see how the scenarios will be used in this game. And this is my 6 minutes on Neo, The World Ends With You. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you subscribe so you can see the next time I upload, and let me know what you found about the game after you've played it on the comments, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.